Don't position yourself as an expert or an authority on something if you're not an expert in authority. I got into a little tit for tat with he started spewing off nonsense about the book of Thomas.
What I see in the AI age, I don't need to get in the word because I can have AI spit out a script for me.
I think you're totally spot on. I mean, social media was in a place where, just to your point, 2-3 years ago, it was a young man's game. So it's not just a 21-year-old, cool-looking, hot chick on TikTok talking about Jesus that's blowing up. That, to me, is exciting.
What's up, guys? We are here with Ruslan. Ruslan, thanks so much for being on, man.
Man, this is amazing. A lot of you guys got all these different podcast rooms and different setups. This is fire.
We got a whole factory here, but I want to make the most of our time. So you're obviously spearheading the Christian media movement that we've been seeing, YouTube, different social media platforms. I would love to hear from you as somebody with their finger on the pulse of Christian media and really an emerging space where media has been democratized and really anybody with a phone can post their theology, can post their perspectives on things. What do you see as somebody who's doing it right? What's the main issues right now that you see in Christian content?
I think the people, in my opinion, that are the most equipped in terms of their ministry heart, their academic background, their experience, life experience, one of those three things, or preferably a combination of those three things, are finally starting to break through the algorithm. I'll give you an example. There's a gentleman named Wes Huff. Wes Huff had about 10,000 subscribers about 2 months ago. He had a debate with Billy Carson. Billy Carson tried to suppress the debate. Streisand effect, it blew up. Wes Huff is an academic scholar who works with the original manuscripts of the scriptures. Oh. Wes Huff now has 200,000 subscribers within a matter of 2 months. Everyone's reaching out to him. He's starting to do secular podcasts. Those are the people I want to have platforms. This is someone that's in their late 30s, early 40s. He's a part of a local church. He has expertise. He has a heart for Jesus, and he has life experience. And as things are becoming democratized, it's not just in the sense that anyone with a phone could do stuff. It's now anyone that has a different life story or is in a different life season can be a bona fide influence on social media. So it's not just a 21-year-old cool looking hot chick on TikTok talking about Jesus that's blowing up. It's the Wes Huffs that are blowing up. It's the folks that have a serious academic background as well as a heart for Jesus, and they're connected to the local church and doing good work. That to me is exciting.
Man, I love to see that. And you raised such a good point. Like, it's really opening the floodgates of people. Because what I see a lot of the time, what I've seen previously, but I think to your point, it's starting to turn, is a lot of times the wrong people are on social media. It does kind of shine a light on and attract people maybe with the wrong motive. What would you say to somebody who maybe feels a call to enter the social media space as a believer? What would you say, like, some of the biggest pitfalls that you've seen creators who are maybe just starting out? I mean, the social media space looks so different now than it did even 2 years ago. So what would you say to someone starting out, things to avoid?
Yeah, I would say don't position yourself as an expert or an authority on something if you're not an expert in authority, right? And if you don't know what you're an expert on, usually your life experience will give you some insight in terms, like, what have you done the longest? What mountains have you overcame? What things have God delivered you from? What areas have you seen breakthrough in? And talk about what you know from your tacit practical knowledge. Don't position yourself as an expert, because nowadays you could get sniffed out. And so social media was in a place where, just to your point, 2-3 years ago, it was a young man's game. It was like hip hop music, and it was like only a young person's sport. And that's changed. Now social media is becoming more of what I hope will be the environment for authors and for folks that are perhaps older. No one's checking how old is William Lane Craig. He's still pumping out books because he has value to add. And so I think that's what we're about to see on social media.
Seeing men like Dr. Michael Brown like blowing up and reaching a young generation. And that's what's so cool to see, is that the young people, they're actually hungry for that wisdom on these platforms that they're on constantly. And so I love, and
not just Dr. Michael Brown. I mean, I'll give a bunch of shout outs. Frank Turek, Mike Winger, Alan Parr, all these guys are in their mid 40s and above, right? So these are folks that are more mature, more seasoned, and have, in my opinion, value and wisdom to offer.
And you said something that I really liked, look at your life experience. And I think that there's a lot of young creators that feel like they have to front as an expert. But I think what's really relatable and authentic and accessible to see young creators specifically is take people on the journey of you learning.
Yes.
Be a student, ask good questions, have people on your channel that know more than you, and don't feel this artificial pressure like, oh man, I have to your point, portray myself as this expert. And so I think younger people, if you feel like that's your struggle, like, oh, I don't have anything of value to bring, be a conduit for wisdom of other people as well, and bring that to your audience.
What Gary Vee used to call this is like curate and document. Right. That's kind of what he would use to refer to it as. I think you're totally spot on. I mean, I made multiple videos. I got into a little tit for tat with Alex O'Connor, pretty famous agnostic creator. And he started spewing off nonsense about the Book of Thomas. And instead of me trying to engage with him about the Book of Thomas, I brought in Wes Huff. Hey man, can you shoot a quick video to me, explain to me why the Book of Thomas is nonsense, explain to me why the Gnostics were nonsense. Wes Huff shot a video, boom, now I'm leaning into an actual expert's authority, and it shows some love to him, and it shows people how I come to my own conclusions, that I'm not just self-actualizing whatever I believe to be true. I actually have authorities and expertise, access to authorities and expertise.
Man, I love that. I would love to hear your perspective. What I see as maybe a pitfall for new creators in the AI age is you can have AI spit out a script for you. You can, you can utilize it as a tool for research. There's a lot of great ways to use it. But do you see in the AI age a lot of people using that to almost cheat the system and think that, oh, well, I don't need to get in the Word because I can have AI spit out a script for me?
Well, first of all, getting in the Word, in my opinion, should be totally separate from your YouTube pursuit.
Say that again.
I think getting in the Word is something that is so crucial just to the nourishment of your soul. So for me, I have a rule personally, vulnerable but not intimate. I'm not telling people what the Lord revealed to me this morning in my quiet time. I'm not telling people what I'm learning through my time with my kids. Those are very intimate things. I'll show you my scars and I'll be vulnerable with you, and sometimes show you my wounds, but I'm not being too intimate. I'm not talking about that argument me and my wife had, right? So I think people really need to categorize that totally separate as your Christian living practical way of leaning in. Now, in terms of AI, I don't think there's anything wrong with using AI to get ideas, even get scripts. But again, even in AI, you can tell it and cite me some scholars making these points, and I need the citations and the where this quote came from, because sometimes AI will also get it wrong on that sort of stuff, So if you're like, hey, I want to make a video about this, and I want to cite an actual textual critic, and I want to cite a Christian author, and I want to cite a theologian, and you could even name the theologian, and it'll actually give you those. Now you got to go and verify those, because sometimes they'll just make stuff up. But if you do that, again, you're just now using AI as a tool to source wisdom from other people.
Well, I think it's Steve Jobs who said the personal computer, it's like a bicycle for your brain. So it doesn't do it for you, but it can help you get somewhere faster.
Absolutely.
And so I think AI is just the next natural progression of that. But the temptation for, I think, especially ministers, online ministers, is to let that shortcut time in the secret place. And I love what you said about intimacy. Like I don't tell the world the intimate conversation I had with my wife. That's not appropriate. Even if it's nothing, on its face inappropriate. It's just, no, that's that intimacy, that relationship. And there's some things where I think every Christian content creator, you should have some things that you spend time with the Lord that's sacred, and you never break out beyond that. So, man, Ruslan, thank you so much for being here, man.
Thank you, Evan. Appreciate
this was so rich in such a short amount of time. But
bursts of information.
Come on, let's go. All killer, no filler. Well, thanks so much, man.
Appreciate you, brother. Peace.
Awesome. Well, hey, if this helped you, make sure you hit the thumbs up, drop a comment, let me know what stuck out to you the most. Hit the subscribe button so you never miss another video. Also, I think you'll really like this video. Check it out, and I'll see you soon.